Center City in Philadelphia, this is Fox 29 News at 6.
Tonight at 6, the questions are piling up over a bad breathalyzer used in more than 1,000 DUI cases. Those cases are now up for review, with the district attorney's office appointing a very special unit to do the job. Will they be retried or thrown out? It's good to have you with us tonight. I'm Thomas Drayton here at 6. So what went wrong here? Well, we know the actual machines simply weren't calibrated. And to understand the consequences of that mistake, let's give you a little background on the machine at the heart of all these cases. You can see it in action in plenty of videos posted on YouTube. It's the Intoxilizer 8000. Now, most of these clips are posted by defense attorneys complaining that equipment such as this device give faulty results. It's made by a company out of Kentucky. Philadelphia has 8 of them, and all tests are administered at headquarters. They're supposed to be checked every 8 hours for accuracy. That doesn't mean they've been calibrated, and that calibration is at the heart of the problem here. We checked with several other jurisdictions, Delaware, Montgomery, Bucks, Chester counties. Everyone we spoke with says they calibrate their machines regularly in accordance with state law. Joining us now is Ken Chotiner, a criminal defense lawyer who was involved in discovering the faulty breathalyzer machines. It's good to have you with us, Ken.
Thanks for having me.
We're not talking about one machine here. We're talking about several.
Yes, that's correct. The Philadelphia Police Department has 7 machines in service, and as of yesterday, 4 of the 7, it's reported a failed calibration.
As a criminal defense attorney, how do you go back and prove that the test your client took was faulty?
Well, it's based upon a calibration. These records are kept and maintained in the course of police business, and we go back and look at the test results, the calibration test results, and we can look at them to see whether or not the machine actually passed.
But what does that mean, calibration? Does that mean that the client was a little bit intoxicated, not as much as, what does that mean?
No, the calibration has to do with whether or not the machines are working properly.
Sure.
And so if a machine fails the calibration test, they're supposed to take it out of service and not use it to test people for breath test results. And so what happened here is the machine failed calibration, but that error went unnoticed by the police department, and the machine was used to test people.
Sure.
And then when we got...
So I guess my question would have been, would it be a few points off, or what is that calibration?
No, the calibration determines... the calibration determines whether or not the breath can be used, and the breath determines the level of the penalty.
All right, so take me through the process here with once you get pulled over and suspected for driving under the influence.
Once you get pulled over and suspected for driving under the influence, they take you down to the police station where they can administer either a breath or a blood test. When they take your breath test, the machine spits out a reading on a tape, and that then is given to the defense attorneys as part of the evidence in the case. The defense attorney then has to request the underlying calibration and accuracy documents, and they should be given as a matter of course by the district attorney's office, but we've had to fight to get them to make sure that the machines are working properly. It's a system of checks and balances, and that's why we ask for this stuff, to make sure that what they say is correct is correct.
And once you get pulled, you have a choice once you get pulled over whether to take a breathalyzer test or a blood test, but a lot more agencies are going with the blood test. It's more reliable.
Well, the choice is not up to the person accused of the crime. It's up to the police department. And in Philadelphia, over the past 4 years, they've spent $2.5 million on blood testing. So it's not a cheap thing. And with 10,000 cases, that could add up to a lot more than the 2.5 that they've already spent.
Okay, so what does all this mean now? I mean, we're going to have to rely on the officer's testimony, the written reports.
What this means for defendants is that they're going to get another trial, and that at that trial they're not going to be facing enhanced penalties based upon the breathalyzer results. They're not going to be presumed to be incapable of driving unsafely because they don't have that level to establish their impairment. So you're going to have to be relying upon the officer's observation, swerving in the road, an accident, things of that nature.
Do you think many of these cases will be thrown out, a free pass?
I don't think anybody's going to get a free pass. Everybody is going to go through the system, and they're going to get a fair shot. They're going to get their shot at justice the way it's supposed to be, not based upon miscalibrated machines.
I like to talk about lessons learned here because we're talking about close to 1,100 cases, 4 of the 7 machines you said. What does that say about the breathalyzer test?
Well, the breathalyzer test is a test that has withstood the test of time, and here it will work, but we just have to make sure it's calibrated properly, that it's checked. It's a machine. All machines can fail. All
right. Attorney Ken Chotiner, thanks so much for coming in. Certainly appreciate your time today. Let's head over to Lauren with a look at your top stories. Lauren.